Well, Brandon Staley got a really good break as a head coach of the Chargers. He got the Bears and Zach Wilson back-to-back. W's with both. Timing in life is essential for success. And Brandon Staley's defense couldn't stop anything. Gets a backup quarterback for the Bears and Zach Wilson with multiple offensive line issues. And, listen, Zach Wilson just doesn't have any margin for error. That special teams touchdown by the Chargers, 7-0 lead. Zach Wilson playing out of a 7-0 hole, just a 7-0 hole. Feels like a massive canyon for him to operate out of. And I went and looked up, as you know, I didn't like Zach Wilson out of college. I thought he was a more talented Johnny Manziel. Hero ball, undisciplined, didn't make good decisions. Talent, but I would never, ever put my franchise in his hands. And made a couple calls, looked at some stats, watched the Coastal Carolina game, and I just thought, he just doesn't have good judgment. You saw it again tonight. There was a play that, and it was a really small play in the first half, but it felt significant to me because I just don't think Zach Wilson has a feel for the game. Joe Burrow's got obviously a great feel for the game, but some guys are just talented. They play the game, they don't think it. They play the game, they don't feel it. At quarterback, it's essential to feel the game, right? And the good quarterbacks all have that ability. A lot of guys, Johnny Manziel didn't love football. He just didn't love football. He didn't have a good feel for it. I don't think Zach Wilson has a feel for the game. So in the first half, he's running, he's scrambling, and he could have run for the first down. And instead, he shovels it off, and the back gets tackled. And it was just sort of a backyard play. You do that flag football, high school football. If you have any feel for the game, you just keep the ball and run for a first down. And I don't think Zach has any feel for it. Troy Aikman, to his credit, was highly critical all night. And most analysts don't like to go there with athletes, especially on these big broadcasts, a Sunday night football, a Monday night football, the big window game. They know their words are listened to and they end up back in locker rooms. But Aikman, to his credit, has no patience for Zach Wilson, and he called him out multiple times. The very first pass of the game, Zach just has no feel for it, misses a layup. And by the way, I don't think Aikman would say that unless he's hearing that from the Jets. Like, he's very comfortable hammering on him. You can watch Salah's body language and exasperation throughout. And really, the game came down very simply to this: a special teams touchdown by the Chargers and Justin Herbert's ability on third down to pick up a handful of crucial first downs. And that's the game on the road. Sometimes it's just that simple. Keenan Allen with one of the catches of the year certainly helped to seal it. But I went back and looked at the NFL draft rundown on Zach Wilson tonight. And as I'm just watching them scuff and struggle with everything, and, there were some obvious strengths. He's got a good arm, some escapability. But if you read that, it said boomer bust potential, decision-making, hero ball. It was all laid out. This is what scouts do professionally. I've leaned on them for years. They know what they're talking about. Now, things didn't go perfectly. He has a defensive coach. The offensive line's not great. He really has one excellent receiver, Garrett Wilson, not much else. Alan Lazard still struggles to catch. So it's not like he's working with the components that a Mahomes would work with, or a Stafford with Sean McVay and Cooper Kupp. Like, I understand that. But, it just goes to show you that the margin, if you don't have a franchise quarterback, your margins are tiny. You have to play perfect football. You cannot surrender a special teams touchdown. You can't. That 7-0 hole felt like 28-0 for Joe Burrow. 30-0 for Mahomes. It just felt like a massive hole you're digging your way out of. If you get a 5-yard delay of game penalty and it's now 3rd and 8, not 3rd and 3, it feels insurmountable for Zach Wilson. The margins are so thin for error, so you have to play some perfect football. And I also think what happens is over the course of a season, you're seeing it now, is that when you ask a defense to be the savior every drive, every quarter, every half, every game, they get discouraged. You're just asking guys to march out, make stop after stop after stop, and you get to about week 8, week 9, week 10, and even the Jets defense, I think, will dovetail a little bit here. I think it's just harder to ask guys to win every week. It's like Lincoln Riley had to fire his defensive coordinator. I was talking to somebody in college football about that. I mean, you can't keep asking the offense to drop 40, 45 and lose. You just divide a locker room. And so I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. There's no point if you're out of the playoff race. If the Jets lose again a couple times in the next 3 weeks, what's the point of asking Aaron Rodgers to come back? Listen, go back to week 1, Aaron gets hurt. The fact that we're at this point in the season and there was some optimism around the Jets is kind of, frankly, surprising in a division where Buffalo looked like real teams. Now, they've both regressed, but I think you just go back to something really great players, really great quarterbacks. They make it look easy. C.J. Stroud sees the field so well. Really good decision maker, a quick thinker. C.J. sees it, delivers it. He is a quick thinker. Zach, it's laboring, hard, doesn't see things quickly. Judgment is slow. So, and this is what you get tonight. Ugly. You know what? I bet Zach Wilson over Justin Herbert. My bad. I deserve all of it. At least I stayed awake for it. I mean, you got to give me some credit. I deserve some credit. I feel like Robert Saleh right now. Jet fans, just exasperating. Between the Giants and the Jets, the Yankees and the Mets, at some point, we all need to have a little bit of sympathy for New York sports fans. I mean, we should all just summarily pull for the Knicks. Has New York sports ever been this bad over a 12-month stretch? The Giants are the worst offense in the league. The Jets are exasperating. The Mets fell off a cliff, and the Yankees were as bad as they've been in forever. Coincidence, stress, pressure, unrealistic optimism. I don't know what it is, but this was just par for the course in 2023 for New York sports. All right, NBA fans, basketball is officially back, and the DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NBA, is celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can get $200 instantly in bonus bets by throwing down just $5 on the NBA. That is a good deal. Win or lose, doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant W, a win. All right, DraftKings parlays, everybody's got a shot to even more basketball wins and bigger basketball wins. String together multiple bets. It's called a parlay, same game parlay. Build your parlay across multiple games. And what does that give you? Better odds, so you can make a smaller bet and win more money. I like doing them. I like parlays. They're fun. Basketball is more fun when you're in on the action. And with DraftKings, you will be. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the code Colin, COLIN. This NBA season, $10, $5. It's fun. It's juice. I love it. New customers, $200 instantly in bonus bets by betting just $5. Yeah, you heard it right. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The code is Colin, COLIN. The crown is yours. Don't miss the action this weekend when the NFL heads to Germany for the Frankfurt games. These games will air on the NFL Network. I'll be watching and stream on NFL Plus. Again, streaming on NFL Plus. For a limited time, Verizon customers can get Netflix Plus, NFL Plus for just $25 a month. with Plus Play. That's $120 in annual savings. Plus Play is a platform where Verizon customers can shop, manage, and save on the subscriptions you already have, like NFL Plus. With NFL Plus Premium, you get access to games on mobile, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, which means you can catch the Frankfurt games and more. Just go to Verizon.com/thevolume to bundle and save before the game. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Again, that's Verizon.com/thevolume. I will say this, it's halfway through the NFL season. And I do think, forget week to week against the spread. That's always tough. Professional gamblers hit 56%. That's always going to be tough. Blazing 5 is fun, but if I can go 3-2, I'm overjoyed every week. But I do think the league is getting easier to predict on a macro level simply because quarterback means so much. This week in the NFL, the best quarterback won virtually every game. Last week, it was all but one game. So now against the spread, who knows? But Eagles, Cowboys in first and second, we predicted that. Niners, Seahawks in first and second, I predicted they both make the playoffs. Lions winning the NFC North, predicted that. Saints lead, Falcons second in the NFC South, I predicted that. Again, I don't consider myself some soothsayer of NFL predictions, but right now the Dolphins would make the playoffs. I predicted that. So would the Chiefs. So would, I believe, the Steelers at 5-3 tied with the Browns. And so would the Jaguars. Predicted that. So Cincinnati, I think, will eventually move up and make the playoffs. I missed on the Ravens, although I had them just missing out. But I mean, if you look at the NFL right now, what's the big surprise? What is the big surprise in the NFL? There isn't one. There isn't one. There's not a single thing that is shocking in the NFL. Tampa was for about 5 minutes. They're now 3-5. There's nothing shocking. There's not a single team. Rams surprised us early. They're now 3-6. Buccaneers early. They regress to the mean. There is not a single surprising team in the National Football League. The ones with really good quarterbacks are in playoff position. I would say this. Here's your big surprise. Buffalo's not as good as we thought, but you know this. Everybody knows this. At the end of last year, you got Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen arguing with each other. They weren't playing great football at the end of the year, struggled to beat Skylar Thompson, the backup quarterback for Miami at home, embarrassed by Joe Burrow in that playoff game in Buffalo. So Buffalo was not playing well at the end of last season, had kind of a turbulent offseason, and right now, this year, struggling, scuffing, can't quite get it right. That's your big surprise. But it's amazing. Halfway through the NFL season, there is none. I mean, Saints Atlanta predicted that. Philly Dallas predicted that. Jaguars, everybody predicted that. Kansas City leads their division. The AFC North is scrambled. I still contend Cincinnati will win it. Baltimore will finish first or second. So I had Pittsburgh eking in as a wild card team. I don't know what I was thinking. But, I just love their overall roster and their coaches. Mike Tomlin just figures out ways to win football games. He has no business winning. He's really good at that. But I think the league is getting more predictable. Not that it's college football where it's very, very regional, but this has always been the concern when you become very quarterback centric is that it gets easier and easier, big picture, to know who's going to make the playoffs. By the way, I would rather watch Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson make the playoffs. I mean, this past weekend, you're watching Sam Howell and Mac Jones. You tell me, are you entertained? Were you entertained watching Zach Wilson tonight? I wasn't. So overall, an NFL season as of now with virtually no major surprises. I don't remember ever a season like that.